All right. How's everybody doing? Welcome, scholars. We are heading into week 1 of distance learning, and I guess technically week 4, but it's official. I don't think we're coming back. Yeah, I cried about it. Yes, I miss you. But keep calm, carry on, something like that. Please don't copyright me, British Parliament, or get mad. Anyways, so here's the deal. Every week you're going to get a video of some sort from yours truly, and you can access all of the things that I'm going to be showing you on ManageRec and on Google Classroom. You will also be uploading a final product to both of those places on the day that you would have my class. So if you're in A schedule, 7th period, you would upload on Thursday. If you are B schedule, 2nd and 4th, you upload on Friday. No penalties for uploading ahead of time. It's okay. Also, I want you guys to be aware, here's how office hours are working. My office hours are technically 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And during those hours, I have a Zoom meeting open and ready, available for you if you need it. I can send you the link or invite you if you're feeling overwhelmed. I can also email you back rápidamente. Like if you email me between 10 and 12, the chances of me responding within seconds is crazy high. If you email me outside of those hours, I'm often in other meetings trying to create lessons or trying to take care of my own life. So if you are emailing me after, like I know a lot of you guys are turning into vampires and emailing and doing assignments at 1 a.m. and that's fine, no shame, you do you, as long as you're mentally and emotionally healthy, I don't care. Just know that if you email me during those times, you're not as likely to get a response. Also, you do need to be checking in with me on the days that you would have me. So that means checking in on Mondays if you're 7th period and checking in on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, we'll be sending out the schedule as to which days you need to check in with your teachers. But please make sure you're checking in with your teachers. It's just something that apparently we cannot do without right now. And that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, let's get started. Week 1. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and show you all the things. I even made it pretty-ish. Okay. Fly over here. So we're calling this the Pandemic Academic 2020 Distance Learning with me. This is DP, HL. So if you are not in the DP program or you're not in the HL course, please exit this video and go get into your other one, because this will not make any sense whatsoever if you're not in this class. So week 1, our learning target is to write a pretty freaking good final essay. Before spring break, you should have turned in, a rough draft. Hopefully that's done. If not, you better hustle, because you're going to need it for what we're doing this week. I've included a link to John Green's crash course for Their Eyes Were Watching God, because I think it's just some good thoughts that we could be using when we go into our essays and we're trying to think about what to write about. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed by the book, that's another place to start. Also, we don't get to have like a whole class discussion or a Socratic seminar. So I thought this is what we'll put in place of that. I've also included an essay help video of how to format it, what types of things to include, what a literary analysis essay should look like. This essay, I cannot stress this enough, should go through multiple drafts. So your task Monday or Tuesday is to watch those videos and meet with the members of your writing group. So you will also receive a link along with all the things that go with this video on the template for who is in your group. So you can email each other. If you need me to set up or facilitate a Zoom chat, I can do that. If you're going to do a Google Hangout, that's fine. Just make sure you fill out the form that's going to be attached to where your writing groups are. Make a copy of it, and then you'll send it. Well, you're not going to send it to me. You're going to use that feedback for your essay. So this is completely up to you. I highly recommend doing it. If you go rogue, if you do your own thing, remember, I am going to be evaluating these as essays that have gone through multiple drafts. So my expectations can be a little bit higher than a rough draft. You can do a couple of things with your group. Hopefully that will be useful for you, but just make sure that you're getting feedback and at least 3 people see it. I'm going to make the groups rather large just in case. Writing groups, you need to tell me, sorry, multitasking here. You'll need to tell me the following. So how you plan to meet, so shoot me an email with your group members added, when you plan to meet, or how you're going to do this, and then have at least, actually, I lied, sorry, 4 people look at your essay. That's the dream. 3 minimum, 4 is the dream. You don't have to look at every essay in your group. These essays are, or these writing groups are going to be rather large. Okay, notebook setup. Dun, 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 singing all over the page. During this time of distance learning, I want you to set up a notebook. It can be digital if you want to do Google Classroom. I prefer a hard copy, and I'm going to show you what mine looks like right now. So I found this random notebook that a student gave me a long time ago, along with some super sweet mustache stickers. What? Find all kinds of things when I have a house to explore for a very long time. A lot of you guys left your notebooks at school. We're just going to deal with what we have. So find whatever you can. I've got this guy. I found a little one. I found a half notebook that I was going to use for yoga stuff. I haven't done that yet, so I can use that. I've got another one that's like half filled. Use whatever you want, but I want you to create a journal sort of space for this time. Some place where you can write down your thoughts, write down what you're reading, and you'll see kind of what we're going to do with it. So on the first page, I got super artsy. I'm calling this the Corona Chronicles, the thoughts, wonders, and worries of Miss Robinson. True-ish stories from the pandemic academic of 2020. And I also included one of my favorite quotes from the writer Ian Forster, and says, how do I know what I think till I see what I say? And I think that's really important that you guys are paying attention to what's going through your head and your heart right now. I would be remiss if we did not acknowledge that this is a crazy time. This is, for some, a very scary time, stressful. You guys are human beings, and you're so much more than just a brain that we're trying to help you learn facts and skills. This is a moment in history, and to not pay attention to it would be a shame. So I want to include things in my lessons that ask you to pay attention, to process. Some of this will be difficult. Some of this you will not want to do, but I'm going to ask you to lean into that uncomfortable place and write out whatever feels like it needs to come out. Because often when I get stuff onto a page, that's when I realize, oh, okay, I don't agree with that, or yeah, that feels really right. And I'm a lot more honest often when I'm handwriting than I am when I'm typing. There's something mental that I'm sure someone else has already studied. So the first free write of the week. Sometimes I'm going to give you guys prompts. I'm going to give you prompts in the beginning, but hopefully as time goes on, you feel a little bit more comfortable and you are ready and willing to take this wherever it needs to go. So once you're more in tune, you can write whatever you need to. So your first writing prompt is, how do stressful situations often reveal the best and worst in people? So I got my title, got my date, and I started this. I haven't finished it, but because I need to get this video out here, I'm just going to start it out for you. Mine starts with toilet paper. Who would have thought it would be toilet paper? So I'm obviously, you can see kind of where I'm going with that, and I'll keep going and finish that later, I promise. And we'll share what that looks like. So that's how your notebook kind of should be set up. That didn't work. Next up, let's talk about, so that's Monday, Tuesday. Let's talk about what you're going to do on Wednesday. See if it'll, let's play a game. Where'd it go? There it is. All right. Wednesday. So Wednesdays are going to be there's your writing prompt. Wednesdays are going to be I'm going to call them bookish Wednesdays, because as much as I want you guys to lean in and pay attention, I also want to give you a chance to have an escape. So on Wednesdays, I want you to find a book, and I want you to read it, and I want you to write about it. That's it. So on Wednesdays, I want you to update a reading log, write a reflection about what you're reading. This can be anything. If you're really not feeling creative or connected, write a summary. If you have questions, write those down. If you have connections to your own life, write that down. I can already tell you that I will definitely have a page of just quotes from the book that I'm reading right now, because there's a lot of really beautiful turns of phrase that the guy uses that I want to capture and pay attention to, because there's a reason why I'm connecting to it. And later I want to go back and look at that. But first, I'm just going to collect. I'm like a person running around a beach grabbing seashells. God, I miss the beach. But later, I'm going to look at them and see kind of what do they have in common. Why do I think I'm drawn to those particular things? So that's going to be Wednesday. You can read any book you want. I don't care. I mean, it just has to be a book. All right, not a magazine. That's it. So I'm going to show you a couple of the ones I'm reading or I picked out that I thought were great. And you can do whatever you want. I found a link. A friend just sent it to me, and it's linked into this lesson. Open library, free books, y'all. Free freaking books. You can download for your Kindle, ePublisher if you have iBooks on your phone, PDFs if you just want to like read it on your tablet or laptop or something like that. So options galore if you don't have physical hard copy books in your house. I prefer paper copies, but that's because I don't know, I'm old school. So this is what I'm reading right now. It's called Gentleman in Moscow. It's a slower read. It's very descriptive, and I love it. Like, I actually was feeling really overwhelmed around lunchtime today, trying to make these videos, figuring out how to do all this new stuff. And I'm starting to get really anxious because I'm also realizing, you know, all the stuff, the reality of our lives right now. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next. And sometimes I want to be able to fix things. I miss you guys. And so everything was kind of hitting me at once. And I could feel that anxiety building. I was like, I'm going to go take a break, and I'm going to go to Moscow real quick and hang out with this ex-count. Well, I guess he's technically still a count, but it's post-revolution Russia. This guy gets house arrest. He has to stay at this fancy schmancy hotel in Moscow, but he's stuck in this really crappy room, and he's used to being royalty, and it's this whole thing, and it's slow, and it's a completely different world. And I love it because within about 10 pages, I was fully immersed in another world. And sometimes you need to escape for a little bit because this world is a little overwhelming, and then that gives you the rest that you need to jump back into whatever the day demands. So find a book, find something that draws you in. If you don't like it, you don't like it, move on to something else. This is a free for all. This is a gift. Read whatever you want. So I love this book. Highly recommend it if you have the stamina for something slow and beautiful and delightful. He's just so charming. I want to hang out with him. A couple other suggestions if you haven't read them. Beneath the Scarlet Sky. Love this book so much. A couple of you have already read it. Bless your souls, and you can vouch for me. This book's good, right? So 1940s, World War II, Italy, 18, 19-year-old protagonist does a lot of crazy things, like helps a bunch of Jews cross over into Switzerland and becomes a spy and falls in love. And it's really good. Highly recommend it. So good. Read this in like 4 days, and I'm a slow reader, y'all. I feel like there's also a theme here. So another guy trapped, but on Mars this time. So in case your apartment's feeling a little cramped, or your house, you can also, travel to Mars. I would want to be hanging out with this guy if I could, because he's hilarious. You can skip some of the math stuff. I did. My astrophysics, whatever, mathy person, brother of mine would probably be very upset. But those girls don't care. So I was like, ooh, math. Anyway, so let me get to the next part. It was awesome. Such a good book. Good movie too. Silent Killer, or Silent Patient. But there is a killer. Who is it? I don't know. So this woman is found with her husband. He dead. 6 shots to the face. She's an artist, and she never speaks another word. So this whole thing of, did she do it? Did she not? What happened? And there is a twist in here that I did not see coming. Check it out. Definitely an escape. Perks of being a wallflower. If you ever feel like that awkward kid who doesn't fit in, my gift to you. Because that was me. And then finally, I just went around my library and I was like, ooh, what do I have at home? Because like an idiot, I didn't bring all my books home. Amateur to the pandemic. The Hate You Give. Freaking love this book. It's so good. I'm probably going to reread it while we're home because I'm going to run out of books here soon. Star is amazing. She's an amazing protagonist. She's this incredible girl who, lives essentially in the hood, similar to where, we're all familiar, and at Prepa. Woo-hoo. But she goes to this, fancy schmancy private school, and so she has to code switch and kind of live in 2 worlds. at once, but she witnesses her best friend being shot by a police officer, and that changes everything for her. And I highly, highly cannot recommend this book enough. It's so good, so well written, and you really just, you fall in love with all the characters and you feel for it. Like, it really helps you feel it. So highly recommend it. Read it, because what else are you going to do? So there are some book suggestions. Hit me up. I can be your connoisseur of books. Tell me what you like, and I'll see if I can come up with some good recommendations for you. So back to our presentation. So for your final draft, which is coming, that's going to be due Thursday if you're in 7th period, Friday if you're in 2nd and 4th. Please make sure that you are accurate and thoughtful in your prompts and your response to the prompts. Make sure that you have responded all the way through the prompt, and that you're not going off topic. Go through at least 3 revisions. That's a first draft, a second draft, and a third draft. It's time that you guys get a feel for what it looks like to write something that's polished and beautiful. That means that your crappy first draft should be a hot mess. That's what you should have turned in before spring break. I can sit down with you. We can do a writing conference of 5 minutes if you schedule it with me ahead of time. We've got a lot of options, but I want you guys to see what you're capable of when you sit down and you do it again. I'm writing right now for fun. And the first time I read a chapter, it is just garbage. It's a hot mess. It's on fire. It's all kinds of things. And then I go through revisions and it gets better and better and better every time. So don't be afraid to slice and dice once you've already written it, but you have to at least write that first draft and then be willing to go back. At least 3 other people, again, quotes and reasoning. Oh, typo. We don't, it is what it is. So like I said, go through revisions, because you know this PowerPoint didn't. Because this is the deadline, y'all. Do your best. Email me if you have questions. Set up a Zoom meeting if you need extra help. I love you guys. If no one's told you today that they love you, remember that I do. Shoot me an email if you need anything. If you need emotional support or some feedback about some mental health ideas or self-care, please let me know. This is unprecedented. None of us have been through a pandemic before. And just remember that everyone you meet is doing the best that they can. That includes you. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others, be kind to your teachers that you're emailing. We are doing our best and we love you so freaking much. And I can't wait to see you guys again soon. Okay? So take care, read, write, repeat.